Hello. This is the third role of government, dealing with externalities, another kind of market failure. You have this paper, visual number 3, posted on ThinkWave on the dashboard, which defines externalities and gives examples of positive and negative externalities. What is the definition of externalities? It is the costs or benefits that affect someone else other than the consumer or producer. For example, I'm a smoker. I am the consumer of cigarettes. I buy them from the seller. The seller benefits from the price. I benefit, whether you agree or disagree, from consuming the cigarettes. However, I affect others by passive smoking, which is a cost that someone else bears due to my smoking. There are two types of externalities, positive and negative externalities. If I have a garden and I have neighbors and I go and buy trees and I plant these trees in my garden, I am the consumer. I bought the trees. The producer who sold me the trees benefits from selling it. But the neighbors benefit from the nice view and from the shade, the greenery, the production of oxygen, and so on. This is a positive externality. Now, the most important positive and negative externalities known in the economy: immunization, vaccine, limiting the widespread of diseases, having a healthy population, is something that the government promotes, something that the government would emphasize through either it does that or it encourages, subsidizes the health care services that provides immunization. Another thing is like college education. It is better for the government to have a well-educated workforce, more skilled workforce. Therefore, it subsidizes college education. Negative externalities, the most common, well-known cost of production or of economic activity is pollution. So the government has two ways to deal with the negative externalities: command and control or market policies. The command and control: imagine if the government decides to inspect the cars, the exhaust of the cars, how much pollution does the car produce. Once it inspects a car that produces higher levels of pollution than permitted, it confiscates the car. Confiscation is a command and control. Whereas if it decides to charge the owner of the car corrective tax, it would be a market policy. It collects money to correct the pollution, the effects of the pollution. Or for example, it asks them to pay fine, غرامة. This is another thing. One of the important things also in negative externalities is the use of natural resources like fishing, logging, cement, whatever. I don't know what they call it, المحاجر. It creates pollution, or it consumes resources that we want to preserve for future generations. The government puts legal restriction on fishing. During the seasons of reproduction of fish, fishermen are not allowed to fish. Logging: the government puts limits on logging. There are certain amount of trees that could be cut, and there has to be compensation for what is cut till they grow again. Therefore, it manages the rate of logging. These are the methods that the government deals with externalities. Other than this, people would not care about the pollution their factories make, or I would not care about the pollution of my car. That's why we have to pay something to the government to correct the effects of pollution by putting filters, by having healthcare services for those affected by pollution, and that's it. The rest of the roles of government, roles number 5 and 6, 5 will be explained next week, 6 will be explained in Unit 7. Bye-bye.